on abortion, I will bring it up. We did a great thing. We did something that for 52 years people have wanted to do. They wanted to get rid of Roe v. Wade. They wanted to bring that subject back to the states. Every Democrat wanted that, every Republican, every liberal, every conservative, and every legal scholar. And I did it.
I don't know why Donald Trump keeps going with this lie that everybody wanted Roe v. Wade to be overturned. Sir, that is not true. Nobody wanted Roe v. Wade to be overturned. Abortion is popular with the vast majority of Americans. Polls show it. Every time it comes up in a red state, is overwhelmingly voted for. Like, when are y'all gonna get it through y'all head that y'all should just, in the great words of Tim Walz, mind your own fucking business? You're not a woman. You can never have a child. You can never understand the pain and the mental toll it takes to have a child. And then to add on being in a state where, God forbid, anything goes wrong. God forbid, I can't get the help that I need, and I have to have money that we all know that the vast majority of Americans don't even have $500 for a medical emergency or any emergency of any type. And now I have to have money to cross multiple states to get to a safe state to get the help that I need. And hopefully that this hospital is inside of my insurance network so that I don't end up with a massive medical bill. Like, do y'all not understand that? And you keep letting him go on here and lie about something that y'all know is not true. The vast majority of Americans wanted Roe v. Wade. The vast majority of Americans want abortion rights. Because it's healthcare. It's a fundamental part of healthcare for women. And there is no laws governing men's bodies, which is why y'all are fine with it. Because guess what? Y'all believe that women should be subordinate to men. Y'all believe that women shouldn't have the right to control what happens to their bodies. The Republican Party's platform for this is so misogynistic, it's not even funny at this point anymore. But of course, they let him ramble on about some more lies.
Mr. President, when you listen to the DNC and all the speeches, they're spreading so many different lies.
Stop it. Get some help.
And we eat, breathe, and sleep this, as you do too, more than we do.
Right.
And you know that what they're saying is wrong, but you don't hear your take. There's no one fact-checking. And here is Governor Tim Walz trying to still connect you to Project 2025. Listen.
Some folks just don't understand what it takes to be a good neighbor. Take Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Their Project 2025 will make things much, much harder for people who are just trying to live their lives. They spent a lot of time pretending they know nothing about this. But look, I coached high school football long enough to know, and trust me on this, when somebody takes the time to draw up a playbook, they're going to use it. And we know if these guys get back in the White House, they'll start jacking up the costs on the middle class. They'll repeal the Affordable Care Act. They'll gut Social Security and Medicare. And they will ban abortion across this country, with or without Congress. Here's the thing. It's an agenda nobody asked for. It's an agenda that serves nobody except the richest and the most extreme amongst us.
All right, so this is your chance to set the record straight. What's your response?
Well, first of all, he's a total lightweight, and he shouldn't be even having any access to possibly being president. The guy, he's been a terrible governor. They've had nothing but problems in their state. He has no capability. They call him coach. He's a semi-coach. He coached some football for a little while. This guy is a lightweight, and he shouldn't have access. And for him to say about Project 25 is disgraceful. They know I have nothing to do with it.
On motorsport.
Cap.
I had no idea what it was. A group of people got together. They drew up some conservative values, very conservative values, and in some case, perhaps they went over the line. Perhaps no idea what Project 25 is, but they use it and they know it, just like Charlottesville.
I don't understand why he continues to lie like he doesn't understand what Project 2025 is. We have recordings now of the director of this project saying that he's been in communication with you.
Say this, and
what you envision as being behind it tactically.
Well, I think it's the sign of a great leader who understands he's in a terrific political news cycle. He's run a really good campaign from start up to this point, and the left's mischaracterization of Project 2025 had become a liability. I think we've seen that really turn around in the last few days since that statement. So no hard feelings from any of us at Project 2025 about the statement, because we understand Trump is the standard bearer and he's making a political, tactical decision there.
We have photos of the director of this project being on planes with you. You wanting to put him in your cabinet to get some of this stuff pushed through. And key words there.
Perhaps they went over the line. Perhaps they did not.
They might have gone over the line. They might not have. Keywords might not have. Because we all know that Trump is a useful idiot. The second he gets into office, he's going to push this project through. Because guess what? He doesn't understand policy. He's going to sign whatever they put in front of him. As long as it has as long as Republicans have put it through Senate and the House and it can be law. Shit, he might even put it through an executive order. We all know that the purpose of Project 2025 is to push the constraints of the executive power as far as they'll push it without any pushback from the Supreme Court. That is the purpose of Project 2025. We all know what Project 2025 includes. They want to take away abortion rights. They want to take it even further. They want to have a national abortion ban, allowing children to have their parents' children. They want to take away LGBTQ rights. It's just like they don't understand.
Mind your own damn business.
You can't have a child. You don't have to marry a man if you're not gay. You don't have to I don't have to marry a woman because I'm not lesbian. But that doesn't mean that I need to take away somebody else's rights that want to do that. Love who you want to love. They don't understand that because I'm convinced, especially after the way they went after Tim Walz's child for the love, the genuine raw love he showed his father. That Republicans, they don't understand what genuine raw love feels like. Like they were kicked or something when they were children. They had to be. Because how can you have this such a strong anti-family ideology? And you're supposed to be the party of family values. It just doesn't align.
And they know it, just like Charlottesville, totally discredited. They use Charlottesville. You know, Biden gets up all the time, says Charlottesville. He ran because of Charlottesville. He got run out of office by the Democrats. They did a coup on him.
And he loves to bring up the entire thing that went with the Democrats and Biden. I will be the first to admit that what they did to Joe Biden was terrible. One, because he is the most effective, efficient president that we've had in the 21st century. He has gotten more bills passed that people thought he would never get past. The infrastructure bill, the climate bill, the Inflation Reduction Act. Like Joe Biden has been a consequential president. But you know what his legacy will be? Kamala Harris. He can say that he propelled a woman, and not just a woman, a black woman whose family was from Asia and Jamaica, to the White House. Nothing is bigger than that as a legacy, especially given what put him in office. He said that he came into office because of Charlottesville and the fact that white supremacists now felt comfortable to walk around without the hoods because of Donald Trump. Now, what is a bigger stamp on his legacy than saying that he pushed a woman to the White House? Nothing. And Donald Trump could never understand it because he doesn't have the ability to be selfish and put his country first like Joe Biden did. I don't understand why he keeps talking on something that he will never understand. Something he will never get from his party.
They have a thing with soldiers where I'm looking over the graves of soldiers and saying horrible thing about dead soldiers from World War I. It was totally made up. It was a made-up story, confirmed. That was confirmed, my side of it, by 26 people in the military that it never happened. They had one lunatic talking about it, and they use it all the time.
And I don't know why they let him hang himself all the time. Like, Donald Trump has called our military suckers and losers.
Down. Kelly describes Trump as, quote, a person that thinks those who defend their country in uniform, or are shot down, or seriously wounded in combat, or spend years being tortured as POWs, are all, quote, suckers because, quote, there is nothing in it for them. A person that did not want to be seen in the presence of military amputees because, quote, it doesn't look good for me. A person that demonstrated open contempt for a Gold Star family, for all Gold Star families, on TV during the 2016 campaign.
A war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
My sister's in the Air Force. I personally take that offensive. My grandfather was in the military. He personally takes that as offensive. If you are a person who has a military spouse or you're in the military and you're voting for him, I don't understand it. Because guess what? He did say it. He has a draft dodger. He's coming after a man who spent 24 years in the National Guard. And the only thing bad they can talk about him is the fact that he retired after 24 years. Like, are you serious right now? And we all know, if you have any idea of how the military apparatus works, you put in your papers for retirement months prior. And he wants to come after him like he didn't do his service to his country. When Donald Trump had his father pay millions to doctors to keep him from going into the draft and doing his military service. Don't come at us talking about how much you've done for the military, especially after you went and denigrated the highest award given to military members.
I would rather, in a certain way, get it because people that get the Congressional Medal of Honor, which I've given to many, are often horribly wounded or dead. They're often dead. They get it posthumously. And when you get the Congressional Medal of Honor, I always consider that to be the ultimate, but it is a painful thing to get it. When you get the Presidential Medal of Freedom, it's usually for other things, like you've achieved great success in sports or you've achieved great success someplace else. When you get the Medal of Honor, generally speaking, and I've met many of them and I've seen the families of many of them, this is an incredible honor, but it was a statement that it's much more painful to get because they're oftentimes in very bad shape. I've seen them come up and they've suffered greatly, whereas the Presidential Medal of Freedom, to my knowledge, I don't think anybody suffered other than they've worked hard and they've done great things. One's a military award, one's a civilian award, but sometimes very painful to get the...
Less than 1% of Americans go into the military. And you know what? They give up more for this country than Donald Trump has the capacity to understand. We need to remember that. And we need to make sure that every time he tries to bring up these lies that he didn't say these things, sir, yes you did. And there's no reason for your own cabinet member to come out and say something like that. They serve at the pleasure of the president. Keywords, the pleasure of the president. And it was so offensive that he's willing to risk his job and put it in and let people know that this is the way that Donald Trump feels about the servicemen that y'all want to put him in charge of leading. Make it make sense, sir.
And she was the last one in the room when that decision was made.
She was the last one. No, she made the decision. She made the decision, and it was one of the most embarrassing decisions. Not, Brian, not the fact that we got out, the way they got out. I was ready to get out, but I was going to keep Bagram.
And I don't know why they keep trying to blame Joe Biden, and they just let him lie and want to blame Joe Biden, that Joe Biden was the reason why we left Afghanistan. No, Trump made this agreement that required us to be out of Afghanistan by a certain date. Biden's administration extended it as far as they could extend it, and at some point we have to leave. It's an agreement in place. The only thing that makes America the greatest country in the world is because we stand by our agreement. We're gonna do something, we do it, and when Joe Biden did it, was it the best? Did it look pretty? No. But let's be honest. Did we want to be back in? Did we want to stay in Afghanistan? And at some point, we have to pull out, no matter how it looks. And if you want to blame anybody about how Afghanistan looked, blame Donald Trump. Because guess what? If he wanted it done, if he felt like it was a better way of doing it, he should have did it during his administration and not leave another administration to pick up the pieces that he left flying in the fucking wind, essentially. All right, y'all, that was it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you have other things you want me to talk about, put that in the comments. And y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Bye.